like it. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speeding?
Speeding. Let's get it. All right. Welcome to the Get the Goods.
Hold on. If you're gonna do the intro, I need like we gotta be excited about it. You know what I mean?
This is my excitement.
It feels low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What?
To the Get the Goods podcast, y'all.
That's less energy than how you
started. Not. I deepened my voice.
Deepening
to made it more.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's try it one more time. And then however you want to do it, just go. But wait for me to stop talking before you start the intro.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Get the Goods podcast. This is episode 46, y'all. Welcome to December. It has been a year. But look at your neighbor and say we made it.
We made it.
My goodness. All right, so it is the 46th episode.
46th episode.
My goodness.
Who are you?
I'm Erica Perry, here with my colleague, y'all remember from last time, also my best friend.
What's up, y'all? I'm Mike Floss. I'm here on the Get the Goods podcast, a podcast presented to you by the Southern Movement Committee, and we are here for another great episode 46, second to last episode of the year.
My goodness.
Big deal.
We
coming up on 50.
We are.
2026, we hitting that.
Hey, 50.
We hit the 50 ball.
Look, we're going to talk about him later this episode.
we do got to talk about 50. I've been listening to a lot of 50 Cent lately, too. I'm trying to crack his psyche. But, yeah, so we're going to switch it up today.
All right.
Let's switch it up. We're going to start with, on this day in history, December 13th. What you got for us?
Am I first? Because I'm
you first. Yeah.
Okay, December 13th. Ask me who was born December 13th.
Who was born December 13th?
Ella Baker.
Who is that?
She's a freedom fighter, and she taught us how to fight. She was born December 13th, 1903. Oh, my goodness. Right? Yeah. 1903. And so she taught us to think. She taught us what it means to think in radical terms, what it means to and for her, when she talked about radical, it means getting to the root causes of an issue. And so when we say we want to practice radical democracy, we want to really engage in a radical vision of what our world can look like, it means that we want to get to the root causes and we want to address things at the root. And then also when you get to the root of a thing, you're really clear about what's actually happened underneath and how you can address that to build out something that is really fruitful. The other thing that Ella Baker taught us, because she taught us how to fight, right? She taught us how to organize. And I think it's important to name that she organized and was an activist for 50 years. Yeah. Spanning from 1930 to 1980. One of the really true guides of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, played a pivotal role in the NAACP and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Just so much decades of experience. And I think the other big thing, I remember my first kind of encounter with Ella Baker actually was, or at least her influence was, it was 2015. I think it was December 2015. It was the first BLM meeting we had in Memphis. And there was probably over 80 people there. And we were how do we practice a leaderful movement with 80 people in the room? How do we thinking about what does it actually look like to engage in democracy and be there is not one, we're not looking to one leader to make decisions. Our work is actually to be how do we bring in the collective voice of all of us to then shape and figure out what we want to do together. And so she taught us what it meant to engage in a leaderful movement. The other thing I think about about Ella Baker is that also this idea of participatory democracy. We look to her, at least she's one of the people that we look to at the Southern Movement Committee when we think about democratic decision makings, both as we're organizing for a different vision of democracy, where everyday working class people are a part of what it means to engage in collective decision making to decide what our futures look like, but also internally, where we're our commitment to leadership development is we lean into Ella Baker's idea of strong, us needing a leaderful movement. And I think the other thing that I'll name is that the other piece was that she both was a champion of human rights. She engaged in the civil rights movement, but also in labor movements, really engaged in movements against imperialism. And so understanding the way that all of these different, the way that we're all differently impacted by systemic harm and oppression. It's connected, and that our work is to like address it at its root. The other thing, and you know, folks in SMC and the cross movement know that like we get who are your people from Ella Baker too. And for us, the question of who are your people is something we ask at the beginning of every like youth assembly cohort. Many times in our Black National Assembly meetings, especially when we're getting to know who our members are and how we want to be together. And for us, you know, it really invites us in the conversation around like, who are you accountable to, right? Who raised me? Who do I come from, right? And then also, who am I responsible for organizing? And the other question it does is like it helps us see the connection between our issues and other people's issues, and therein like solutions. And sometimes it's like the unlikely people who we maybe would not see ourselves or our issues connected to, it invites that into the room. And so for us, Ella Baker is like an inspiration, somebody we look to in our work.
So what would it mean to you if you know that like the work that you're doing right now, 100 years later, a new organization will form that would still lean on the trainings that you did, the work that you helped develop, you know, 100 years prior is still being put into practice today?
What would it mean to me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think that I don't know. I don't know. I think that I find so much like gratitude in like folks like Ella Baker and like creating like a foundation for us to like build on, and creating like, what's the word I'm looking for? A map. And like, how do we build relationships with each other? Also, how do we like take collective risk? I think about the weight of what it meant in like the 1940s and like, 'cause she was organizing with the NAACP as it was like, you know, developing it. There was this moment when throughout the South, they were beginning, like lynching had been going on, and they were like, we're going to actually, then the ACP was like, we're going to address this, right? And this moment, so there's the lynchings that are going on where they're like, at the same time, they're like, we want to ask people to engage in like this different type of democracy, to like register to vote, to like try and see what's possible. And knowing that that is a risk, that like people could lose their lives, and to sit with the weight of that.
Yeah.
To organize and sit with the weight of like people's lives are on the line. If we ask them to take this risk, they could lose their housing, they could lose their job, they could lose their life.
Not even could, but did. Yeah.
And then, and I think I just think about that because I have Barbara Ramsey's book here, Ella Baker and the Black Freedom Movement. That any crisis for organizing, you should read that. But and the other, I'm weaving that together with there's another book. I can see it. I have it on my I have it in my house. Like it's one of the Bibles that I talk about. But where they mention and they talk about the folks being like, there's the lynchings and the response to Black people voting or just getting any type of progress or just existing, and then there's the like, we're going to have a mass meeting, we're going to go back and we're going to try to register to vote, or we're going to go back and we're going to try to do this thing together. And then there's the freedom rides, and people are being kidnapped by white supremacists,
right,
and killed. And they're still like, we're going to go out the next day and we're going to like, we're going to keep organizing. Mission, and I'm just like, that spirit of not just resilience, but like the true test of an organizer, like how do we engage in collective risk, and how do we be honest about this is what we're up against, and this is why we take that risk. Yeah. And I'm just thinking about the conversations our youth assembly members had when it's like, oh, the risk is not gonna go away. There's for particular people in this moment are particularly vulnerable.
And another argument is a greater risk to not engage. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're not actually. Because then the problem continues and is actually allowed to thrive if we don't engage in trying to fight back.
That's the other thing, is like the lynchings were happening whether people were registering to vote or not.
Exactly.
Because and the other thing is like the work they were doing is like, how do we're fighting for our dignity. We're fighting for power, and like voting is one piece of it. But the other piece, like we're fighting for like our own like ability to engage in collective decision making. Like that too is like, actually our dignity is being stripped from us, and it has consistently been doing that. And so we're fighting for that, and this makes the risk worthy. Yeah.
Thank you. Ella Baker, December 13th.
Yeah.
1903.
Read the book, y'all. Ella Baker.
in the Black Freedom Movement. Look.
By Dr. Barbara Ransby.
Okay. Mine is so much different than yours. You ready?
Okay. Do you have a good segue? Is this going to shock us?
It's not going to shock us. Let's see if I can build a segue. All right. It's interesting to grow up and to have to experience certain systemic issues and problems. And many of us in that experience, we look for a path out, right? We look for a way to not be experiencing that oppression. Many of us find organizing, folks who join the Black freedom struggle, we lean to organizing, right? And then some people, they may lead to academia. Some people may lead to, the streets. Some people may lean to different, business ventures, whatever it may be. And I think it's really important that we understand and tell those stories.
Okay.
December 13th. Why are you making that face?
I'm not making a face. I'm listening.
You're making a face like you don't like where this is going.
No, I don't know where
All
it's
right,
going.
here we go. December 13th, 2002. Drumline comes out. And
you do look like Nick Cannon. My bad, sorry. You know.
Okay. All right, that's one.
Nah.
That's one.
You be on me all the time. It's okay.
That's one. I will return fire later.
Okay, bet.
All right. 2002. Drumline comes out, directed by Charles Stone III. Okay. If you remember.
I remember.
For anybody who's ever seen Drumline before you was in college, you never wanted to go to a HBCU so bad in your life. That was like a big pivotal moment where people was like, oh, I got to go to college. Bro was pledging a marching band fraternity. I was in a marching band for all 4 years in high school. So Drumline was like, yo, this is a thing. Like that Drumline really made me want to be in the marching band.
Yeah. And you were in middle school when it came out, or probably 2002, I was 12. You was 12 too.
We was little.
So we was in middle school. Yeah.
Okay. But Drumline I lost my whole train of thought.
Everybody wants to be in the Drumline.
Marching band. Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to be in the marching band.
Yeah.
There is no other thought about this. Funny thing about that, this same director, Charles Stone III, released another movie in 2002.
What was it?
Paid in Full. Same director. Same director. Benny the Butcher has a line, or is it? Yeah, Benny the Butcher has a line to say it was either law school or dog food. Charles Stone III was really giving us the cinema to back the bars up, because that's a big 2 months later after Drumline comes out, Paid in Full comes out.
I'm not really familiar with Paid in Full. What is the headline?
It's about Alpo and them. It's about these drug dealers in New York, basically, and they get money. It's a street story. Like it's a very like essential black classic.
Who's somebody
film.
we notice in it?
What's my boy name?
Mackay Pfeiffer, is he in it?
Not Mackay Pfeiffer, but I know why you saying that. What's fam name? Woody Harrison. Is it Woody Harris or Woody Harris? Who's the other?
Yeah, I thought
no, it's
so.
Mackay Pfeiffer. Yeah.
I feel like it's a meme with Mackay Pfeiffer going around from Paid in Full.
Yeah.
Cameron in it?
Cam is in it. Cam is in it because Dame Dash had a hand in like making Paid in Full. But it was just funny to me to see that this man put out the HBCU film and one of the most iconic black street films of all time within a couple of months. Yeah, it's very crazy.
So what happened on December 13th?
The Drumline came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the release date of Drumline.
That's wild.
So yeah, it's very crazy. But yeah, I was just thinking about how that's interesting. One other thing to note: this is the same director that shot the video for The Roots called "What They Do." You may not know what this video is, but to any like hip hop heads, I think this came out in like 1998. The Roots is making fun of 90s hip hop. Like Paid in Full is largely like a 90s hip hop, 80s hip hop type of movie. The Roots are making fun of 90s hip hop. So you got Questlove and you got Black Thought in the video with champagne, with girls in bikinis, but there's subtitles on the screen like she's getting paid $50 an hour. Dang. The budget is too high. It was like a scene where it's like the beat down shot where people are staring in the camera. It's just like, what are these people running from? But it was like a lot of rappers in the 90s took it as a diss because they was like, this is what all our videos look like, and y'all made a satire of all of like the quote unquote gangster rap videos of the period. So Charles Stone III also shot that. So it's interesting to see that like I made a street rap video that was a satire. I made Drumline and I made Paid in Full.
So what's that mean?
To me, it means one, black people is not a monolith, but there's also like this consistent story of like path out. I'm looking at this like, what is your path out? I feel like he tells that story
I see.
very frequently where it's like it's academic, it's the streets, it's, you know, whatever it is, hip hop, rap.
The drums.
The drums is one way to say it.
Well, because he wanted to play the drums, and you remember he had the issue with financial aid. He was like, he had to get a scholarship.
And he couldn't read music.
Yeah. And I think the other thing I'm thinking about is like there's this like complexity thing of, you know, just like you said, getting out, but like what it means to be black, like what it could mean, like the like and that you can have different thoughts, like that there's a way, like we live in this contradiction. It's like, dang, like these folks is like selling drugs, right? Yeah. And this person is trying to go to school, and it's like all these things are existing, and I'm down to put all of it on display. And y'all can make meaning of it. Y'all can figure out what that means to y'all. Yeah. So it's cool just to see. It's one also dope as an artist to see somebody that has that type of range where it's like we can tell these stories, but seeing the through line in the story, I think it's pretty amazing to be like, yeah, I made Paid in Full and Drumline. Like I would have never thought that. I would have never knew that. Wild, yeah. Drumline was gonna have to go back and watch it. 2002.
I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness. Then we had Stump the Yard where that just.
See, that's another part of it. Like, and I think it's really cool to put HBCU culture, because that's the South. Like the HBCU culture is largely like the Black South, and like so many of us have connections. Even if you didn't go to a HBCU, if you live in a city where there's a HBCU there, that's a part of how you grew up. That's a part of your community. It's a part of the people that go to your church. Like whatever it is, like if you're in Nashville, somebody around you went to TSU.
Yeah, for sure.
If somebody around you loves TSU. Like it ain't no way around that.
Or Fisk.
Or Fisk. Fisk is less frequent, but TSU for sure is like in the DNA of the culture.
Yeah, it is. Cool. Yeah. Thank you for that. That was interesting. I did not know where you was going. That's a good one.
So okay. So what you been up to? We've
Let's
been
talk about you. What you been up to?
Me?
Yeah, I like the Spencer Badu.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Spencer Badu.
Good colors.
Very Pan-African. Started my garden. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but my garden is growing. I've been trying to nurture my garden in the winter.
Yeah, I'm curious how that's going.
That's a word.
It is.
You might be missing the sermon.
I might be. Give me the revelation.
How to grow your garden in the winter.
What's the revelation?
Some of us is in the winter in our lives, not just seasonally. For a lot of people, it's a little cold, it's a little dark, it's a little dormant, it's a little damp. A little bit of water is good. Too much water.
The night is long.
The sun ain't bright.
My goodness. And how do we nurture ourselves? How do you nurture yourselves in the winter season?
I'll tell you about my plants. One thing you got to do is you got to keep them warm. You got to keep the cold off of them. You got to keep the frost off. So you got to throw a blanket over them because they're going to grow. Also, you got to have the understanding that they're going to grow slower because of what they're experiencing.
That's something too.
Look, a lot of people's development be a little delayed.
Yeah. That's
because
why
of systemic oppression.
The phonics, I be like.
They got to be hooked on. If the phonics ain't hooked on, you have a hard time later in life.
Yes.
It's real.
Ask me, I know.
They got to be hooked on.
Look.
So, yeah, you got to care for them according to the season that they're experiencing. And I think that's a cool metaphor.
That's good for how we be with people too.
Yeah.
It's like both personal, but also like, how do I understand what season you are in your life so I can nurture, care, understand you. And
I can't get mad at the spinach for not growing as fast when it's when it's overly raining. It's unfair to be like, yo, these are the conditions you're experiencing, but I expect you to perform at a level and at a rate that can only be performed in with optimal conditions.
That's real.
And it's like, yo, that's how cool thing about gardening is like it shows you about a lot of metaphors about growth in life and how things work. And that's how I kind of been like appreciating having a garden, because I'm like so many metaphors.
So You put blankets on it, or
You got like a little winter blanket. It's like it's an agricultural thing. I forget what it's called.
You get it though from the.
Yeah, you buy it from the store.
You want to throw
I don't
blankets
put
on
a
it.
comforter
I didn't know.
over the radishes.
That's what I saw. That's why I asked.
I don't put a Tempur-Pedic pillow underneath the spinach leaves. Like we're not tucking them in like that.
Know.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you?
I had to put a fence up too.
Cause what?
Got to protect them because in the night it's dark.
Look,
thieves are afoot.
And so, how do you care for yourself during the winter seasons?
Eat. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that question. How do you care for yourself during the winter?
Have you had a winter season?
In actual, you talking about the cold, or you talking about in life?
In life.
Oh, the healthy ways I care for myself, or the unhealthy ways?
Let's talk about both. Let's get into it.
I feel like when I'm operating unhealthy, I'm very not thoughtful. Like it's like just cut your brain off. Like if I don't have to think about something, I don't. Which means that I'm just leaning on like habits, and habits be bad when you don't be intentional about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just like being overly spontaneous, just doing stuff. Like, bro, I was just doing anything. What are we doing? You go back and look at them outfits, you'd be like, oh yeah, something was going on with me. You ever looked at your old outfits and be like,
There's one outfit that I think about a lot. When
we got to put it on the screen.
I'm like, oh, I was down bad.
Was it a business suit in the club?
No, it was not a good outfit. Like, it was actually like, it was not good. It was like, remember that black coat with the orange lining?
Oh, yeah, the bomber?
Yeah.
Had the hood going crazy?
Yeah, no, I was not in a good place when I had that on.
I remember when you was wearing that coat.
Yeah, I wasn't in a good place. It
was a dope boy coat.
Right.
It was a dope boy coat.
What was I doing?
Dope boy activity. Look, if you wear the dope boy coat, you're going to do some dope boy activities.
Right,
that's a metaphor for life.
What they say, I was sliding down the wall, my head hit the wall, boom. Yeah, nah, we gotta. That's real.
For sure.
I feel like. So, what's your good, the healthy things that you feel like you do?
The healthy things I do. One, I acknowledge. This is one thing a mentor of mine told me when I was at TSU. He was like, you know, something is getting off in your life when the things that you know you love to do, you don't want to do them anymore. So it's like, if you know you love playing basketball every week and you're not interested in basketball, something is probably off.
Yeah.
Like if you know you love meditating, eating a certain type of food, or, you know, a consistent workout practice, whatever it is, if now it's like you sick of it, it's because you're going in a different direction. Yeah. And that's a good way to kind of check. Another unhealthy thing is like keeping your house clean. Not gonna hold you. Like if you depressed and it's cold and it's dark outside, you can't let your house be dirty too. Something gotta give.
It's hard to clean your house though when you down for real.
Exactly. But it's like that's also a sign to me that I'm like, oh, something's off. If it's dirty in here, okay, I need to clean up and I need to make some adjustments because that's how. Because sometimes you don't know you're depressed. Yeah. And then you gotta kind of give yourself markers. It's like, okay, I know when it's looking like this. Yeah. I'm feeling like that.
Man. Yeah. That's real. That's real.
What's been going on in your life?
Well, how I cope through winter season.
Oh, okay. Trying to push us through the topic. Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
No, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
It's too late. You don't open the door. Are we rolling?
Cool.
Okay. What happened? Please tell us what happened, Erica.
How do I collect myself during my winter seasons? Yeah. So during my winter seasons, I collect myself in this way. In the past, I have had unhealthy habits as well. I could sometimes it would be a mixture of like church and, you know, I would have other types of fun. And that was fun. I had a time. And sometimes the stuff that we used to be able to do to cope, I can't do because I'm too old to do it. Like in the sense that, like, you know how you could drink more when you was 25 and now I'm 36 and I'm like, dang, I can't even.
It's taking a toll.
I can't even do that. I can't even. I would want to use that coping mechanism, but I can't even. It don't even work, you know? Yeah. So I think that, but I think definitely, like you said, like meditating and like reading. I know when I'm not doing well when I'm not reading, because when I'm reading, I'm like, I just feel much more in tune with like the world and what's going on and what feels possible, which is, I think, the beauty of like, we talk about reading all the time, but like literacy and just like being able to, and for you, it might be like art. It's like listening to music or like the other stuff that you as an artist do that I kind of don't have in my toolbox, but I would love to think about it. That like helps me expand and see like, oh, the world I might not be that down. You know, I might be a little bit more okay than I thought because I'm like able to tap into other sources. Which for me, when I'm thinking about like what's been going on with me, I'm thinking about, we were talking earlier, was it yesterday? Just about this year and like how much this year we've been through this year. I feel like the last 2 or 3 years have felt like we're living years inside of like 12 months.
Why you say that?
Like this year, I'm like, I feel like I lived like 2024. I did feel like I lived 3 years in 12 months. That was a year. And then
why?
Because I was just like, it was so many lessons. It's like, I feel like we were talking about this earlier today, but like every month I look up, I'm like, dang, there's a new challenge. There's a new version of me that has to be birthed to meet this moment. And then at the same time, it's all this like, you know, you get to your mid 30s and it's like, oh, I got to like actually deal with all that happened in my life. Like I got to figure out, how do I heal? How do I transform? How do I like make meaning of these things? And I did so much of that in 2024, and then 2025 was like, now apply all the skills to all the things. And it was like, there was so much growth that had to happen, but also our work was so intense. It was so much work we had to do together. You know, remember, like it was like every single month it was something.
Like what? Say like
I'm
more
like,
detail.
Just this semester we got 64 students that were, you know, attempting to like engage in leadership development, which is really beautiful and amazing. We have new staff, you know, so we're like working and building out our staff. We are also engaging in like this co-governance work. We're traveling, like all these things, like the demanding of us. At the same time, we're also trying to like take care of ourselves, like spending time with our family. I know you're trying to be a good uncle. It's just like it's like meeting the demands of what is required of us. And at the same time, it's like this, the country like delving into like fascism and authoritarianism and having to respond to all of those things. Like that's what I mean. I'm like, this year didn't feel as hard as last year because I think I feel like I was fortunate last year to be able to deal with 2025. And I was reflecting on this year. I'm like, oh my God, this year felt really, really hard. But we won every battle. I'm like, oh my God, we made it. Like actually it's like December, the end of the year. I feel really refreshed, really excited about 2026. I feel really like, I was thinking about, I went to a watch night service. Shout out to watch night service.
You talking about last year?
Last year. Coming into like this year. And you know, they was like, this is the year of manifestation. This is the year that you're going to be thriving. And I was like, I do not feel like I'm thriving. I do not feel like I'm manifesting. But then I had to look back on my year. I was like, girl, yes, you did. Look at what you have been able to do. And so it's like, I don't want us to, like, I think sometimes it's easy to be like, this thing didn't happen, so that means I'm not thriving. It's like, no, you can both be like, I'm still like in process on this thing, and like I have these amazing victories on this other hand, and I'm grieving. And I think that what I've been forced to learn in my 30s is like the complexity of all these things at one time. It's like the grief of the moment, the like, I'm still in process on this thing, and I have all these like amazing victories here too, and having to like be able to sit with all of that and not be like, just because it's not all this, that doesn't mean I can't enjoy this. So that's what I've been up to, wrapping up the end of the year with all of this, which is like, dang, this is really dope to be able to do that. I feel like 5 years ago I couldn't have sat with all that.
It's a lot to hold. It's complex.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you compartmentalize those different things, or you think they all in one big pot?
I think they're all in a pot. And like, you know, we had pho today, and it's like, you know, you got the rice noodles, you got for me it's the impossible beef, you got the tofu and all the veggies, and it's all in there. And I'm eating it all at one time.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the type of person where it's like I separate each one of those boxes out. Where it's like, these are the things that did work. Like, I feel like with music, like I got off to a really strong start this year, but the chaos of the year kind of like sent me into a different direction. And I achieved, like, I checked off some of the boxes, but I couldn't maintain the rate. Yeah. And then it was like, so I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I see the good things that happen, and now the other things I kind of roll over to 2026, where it's like I'm going to put those things in a new pot. And I don't really hold them with this year. I'm just like, okay, we're going to table that to next year. And then on, like, the organizing side, I feel like those battles I kind of put in different pots too, where it's like we got a really big win this year in regards to the varsity spending plan. And then also the current state of, like, the world around us is not really, like, heading in the same direction. They're going in polar opposite directions, actually.
My goodness.
And I kind of, like, put, like, okay, we got the varsity spending plan, like, pot of work and co-governance and, like, the Office of Youth Safety. And I kind of put that in a box where it's, like, a lot of joy in that box. You know what I'm saying? This is great. And then the stuff that's going on in the world is like, this is a giant box that's really terrible. But I'm not going to let that touch this box. They obviously are all in contact with each other, right? But as far as, like, the way I feel about them, I have a separate feeling for each thing.
I think for me, the joy here helps sustain me over here. You know what I mean? It's like, because if I didn't put them in this, if they weren't in this pot together, then I could be really, really down over here. I would rather the joy here, the win, the victory here, give me momentum for what's possible over here. So, like, the joy of the varsity spending plan, the victory there helps build momentum for, like, oh, if this is possible in Nashville, then what becomes possible in Tennessee? Then what becomes possible? So I do wonder how could, I don't, for, like, me, I'm like, well, and this is, the faith thing was, if God did it over here, then why God can do it over here? If I did it over here, if we did it over here together, then who's to say we can't find some people in Memphis to do it in Tennessee? Then we go find some people in California and we do it. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And you ever had lima beans?
I have.
I'm the type of person.
You don't let your food touch?
If I gotta eat lima beans, I'm eating them first, and I'm getting them out of the way.
Telling me something
I'm
about
getting rid
yourself.
of it. I gotta get rid of it because I don't want the lima beans to interfere. I don't want the mac and cheese to help the lima beans taste better.
That's real.
I'm not gonna put them on the same spoon. Get the lima beans out of here, so now I can just enjoy the things that I enjoy. And that's kind of how I approach life.
You do that. Oh my goodness, you do.
Let me do the stuff that I hate and just knock it out, get it done, get it away from me. And then the stuff that I can actually enjoy, I can actually enjoy it. But if it's touching the stuff that I hate, I'm not going to be able to enjoy it. So get it out of here.
That's so interesting.
And let me do the thing that I'm passionate about. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to eat the lima beans. Dang. I'm going to eat them. I'm not going to enjoy them, but I'm going to eat them.
You're going to
get them out of here. Yeah.
So when I have a thing that I don't want to do, sometimes I'll put my favorite TV show on, or I'll play my favorite music, and it'll help me
never do that.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I could never.
Oh my God, we can stay here forever because I want to get into your mind. Because I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to eat lima beans with macaroni and cheese, but I also like good lima beans could be
no such thing.
You right? Okay.
The texture on the inside.
That's real. Okay. Yeah.
And the way they look.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, maybe I haven't seen.
We ate a lot of lima beans growing up.
Oh, we did too. They were frozen, and we had to put them in the pot with some butter and garlic powder. And
is this?
Was this a?
Is this a socioeconomic status?
That's what I was gonna say.
Is this a marker of oppression?
You're right. I just want to get this thing done so I can get to the thing I want to do.
Yeah, me too.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's you.
Yeah.
But then it's like some stuff is just like there's always this thing that. So do we ever get to just be like, how do we just have joy that is just always here, always here? My state is always.
And see, that's probably a better way to deal with people.
I don't know though. That's what I'm asking though. But yeah.
No, my brain is doing a million things.
Yeah.
But I think like when we like, let's change the lima bean plate for like a person, right? And it may be something that somebody do that you cannot stand that they do this thing. And then there's all these other good things about them. And it's like, me, I'm like, if I don't like the way, you talk through movies. Guess who's never watching a movie with you, fam? Oh my God. And I'm gonna put you in this box over here.
You're not in the movie.
Yeah, we're not going to the movies.
Hey, yeah.
That's kind of how I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we'd be like, we gotta accept the whole person. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're not watching movies together. That's real.
I feel like you would be like, well, maybe if I watch a movie I like, then I can tolerate them talking through it more or something like. I feel like you would find a way to like
make it
go together.
It depends on how much I like them. If I like them a lot, then I'm like, we gonna figure this movie thing out, right?
You gonna be sitting there, what else?
What else? Right? No, what you say? We're gonna get put out together. No, that's real. So that also is a factor, though.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's the thing.
But anyway, we could talk about that too. But people don't be liking people because if you like people, you can't hold some of the stuff that they do that's annoying.
For how long?
If I really like somebody, I can hold some of the stuff.
I know like married people.
Even chewing, I'm like, chewing is a thing where I'm like, oh my God. Ugh. But if I really like somebody, I'll listen to them chew.
Why are you listening to anybody?
No, but it's like I hate hearing people eat.
If I'm not
eating.
It's a jealousy issue.
It's something.
That's not anything
they're doing wrong. It's a brain thing. Yeah. So I'm saying if I really like somebody, I'll not be eating and I can listen to them eat and I'll be like, it's okay. Yeah, it's chemical.
Got it. I think we did it. We did
it. So what's been going on in the news?
In the news, okay, well, one, there's a big deal happening with Netflix.
Oh, talking about entertainment and movies, yeah.
Right. So Netflix is basically saying that they it's tricky. You know, it's like I guess they went on the ink to dry. But basically there's an $82 billion offer.
Because did you get the email from Netflix?
Yes, I did. And it was like, hey, nothing's changing yet.
Yeah.
You know the price finna go up.
No, for real.
But $82 billion, they're trying to buy a large portion of Warner Brothers, which is mostly just their streaming stuff. So like HBO, whatever else they have that's on streaming is kind of in the package. Film studios, all of that.
Oh, like all the Batman stuff. Is that
Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay, Batman. Yeah. All of their Game of Thrones, all the HBO stuff, like all of those big properties.
Insecure was already on Netflix. I guess they bought it. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was the trial.
Stuff has been in the works. Yeah. But also the other interesting thing, this is funny, and I noticed this recently because I was looking at some sync licensing stuff that I did, and Justice USA, I have a song on there, and it was originally supposed to be a Netflix title. And I was going back to look at it, and it said HBO on it.
Oh.
But when I originally was doing the sync, there was like Netflix is doing this thing with some company that Oprah has or whatever, and then it lands on HBO.
Oh.
So I'm like, there's been stuff happening in the mix, clearly for a long period of time if it's $82 billion.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, though, is Paramount has jumped in, offering over $100 billion to do a hostile takeover of this deal. Paramount said we're going to give $30 cash per share.
What?
Netflix was saying we're doing cash, a mixture of cash and stock for like $27.75, I think is the number per share. All of this to say, Netflix costs $27 a month.
Right.
So let me get 12 shares a year or something.
Exactly. What are we doing?
Let me get a piece because I'm getting exploited. And it's just like this whole thing is, but the obviously what they're talking about in the news is this is a monopoly, antitrust laws, all of that kind of stuff. The company is too big if they merge together. Yeah. It's going to ruin like how much actors get paid, how much, money everybody stands to make that's not on the take with this deal. And if you remember the CEO, I think of Netflix, his name is Ted Sarandos. Remember when there was that big actor strike in LA and everybody stopped working? He was on that other side trying to, be like, we need to get back to work.
Yeah.
So they later shifted the narrative to be like, we're doing everything we can to reach a deal, but not give them
what they want.
What they want. So it's just like literally like that 1% conversation when we talking about $80 billion, $100 billion, to the point to where Donald Trump has inserted himself in the conversation. And now, he buddies with Ted Sarandos, maybe like it's messy. Yeah.
I'm like, about to next 2026. I'm just reading way more, and I'm canceling all the stuff.
What you gonna cancel? Make a commitment live.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I can cancel Netflix because my household depending on me. But definitely HBO.
Okay. You can't cancel if you cancel HBO and you have Netflix. You didn't cancel HBO if Netflix is buying.
Okay, well,
Warner Brothers.
Dang, I don't know. I can cancel Hulu, Netflix.
But if Paramount buy,
right. Well, I had canceled Paramount.
Don't Paramount own Hulu?
Nah, that's Disney.
Oh, okay.
Disney, ESPN, then Peacock.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Disney has National Geographic too.
Yeah, somebody. But yeah, I'm over all of it.
Okay,
Let's
so you
get
getting
back
rid of
into
Disney?
the books, y'all. Yeah. And Hulu.
And Hulu.
And Netflix.
What you gonna have?
My Netflix.
You gonna get cable? You gonna get Comcast?
For real, nah. I'm going back to the basics. I strayed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm telling you, and the cable channels are not in the deal.
Or the antenna stuff.
The antennas.
You
Ain't
know.
nobody had an antenna since 1976. What is you saying? Okay, you was really in the Black Freedom struggle.
I remember the antennas.
With the fall on it.
Trying to move it. Did y'all have to do that? You don't know about that, huh? You had cable. We had to move the thing.
No, we had it, but it was of no use. It was like.
And then you got to hold it a certain way at a certain time.
Why is it that when you touch the antenna, the picture get clear?
Right.
I'm finna get me one of them big fatback TVs with the antenna on it.
Or what's it called?
We gonna figure this out.
They ain't got DirecTV no more.
You know what? This is
the satellite.
It might have been the CIA. They gave poor people TVs with antennas. So instead of you watching the lies, you can just absorb them into your body
fingers.
while you hold the antenna.
Look.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. So that's some wild news.
Yeah.
Boo to all of that.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
hope none of it works.
Yeah, I hope it all fails. Open source everything. I don't want to pay for nothing. Also, where's the bootleggers that can start cracking? Remember when they was doing the
when they was breaking the code?
What was that box that everybody had?
Yeah, was it the Prime box or was it Roku? Was one of them?
It was one of them. Everybody was cracking that Roku, I think.
I don't know nobody that was doing that.
Me neither.
None of my friends.
Wasn't us.
Yeah, nah. You see what I had? Netflix.
Fire Stick. That's what it was.
That was the Fire
Everybody was
Stick.
cracking the Fire
But that's
Stick.
Prime. That's
It's
Amazon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go back to cracking the Amazon.
Okay, so what's my news? Man, a lot has happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course, Jasmine Crockett entered the Senate race. And then the Texas Supreme Court, they had redistricted to make it to where the GOP could win more, have more congressional seats, basically, because how the vote would turn out. And then people challenged it because they basically had redistricted among like race, because that was how they was going to ensure the GOP could win. And the challengers won, and like the lower court went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was like, nah, y'all can keep this congressional map. So then there's like in Texas, they like, well, we gonna lose a seat for sure, some seats for sure. So who's gonna actually run so we can make sure we get the seat? And then Jasmine Crockett entered the race, and of course, people are critiquing her. And then so the other thing I have on mind is that of course this Tesla tunnel and
one thing, can we back up on the Jasmine Crockett thing? I think the interesting thing is, okay, could it be said that her sitting, there's debate around her politics, but the Senate, two people per state for the Senate. So as a rep, you have less power than you do if you're in a Senate spot, right? Because the reps are like based on population of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's way more reps than it is people in the Senate. So would that inherently mean that you have more power if you're a member of the Senate?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a thought I was having, because I'm like, strategy, what's the best strategy here? The challenge is, it's like we're dealing with all of this with like we don't have a ton of candidates that we just 10 toes down, like, yes, this is the thing. And it may be because of the, two-party system. But, I mean, we can look more into it and have a more thorough conversation.
Yeah. Could also be people's morals and values.
Yeah. No, for real.
That's your morals. That's your values.
Yeah.
That's who you are, But and then just speaking on, like, I guess we're gonna be talking about some politics right now, or some election stuff. So the congressional race in Tennessee, Afton was able to get really closer than anybody else has in a while. To winning that congressional seat, but was not able to be victorious. But did make there's some momentum, right? Got some type of victory. What would you say?
This is what I say. I think it's great that people got engaged. I feel like people should participate in the political process, in every possible form that takes and what that can look like. And I know it's probably, it's a lot of working class people knocking doors, having a lot of hope, hoping to see something shift. And unfortunately, the way the landscape is right now, we know it's either the Republicans or the Democrats. Which one? It's a very this or that type of race in this country, or
in Tennessee for sure.
Well, in
other
Tennessee,
places,
but by and large throughout the country.
Yeah,
too.
for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I understand that a lot of people was disappointed, let down. They feel bad about it because it's like, dang, we could have had a leg up. Now, also as politicians, we don't know what they're going to do once they, everybody says great things on the campaign trail until it come time to stand on them great things that you said on the campaign trail. So we never know how it turns out. And I think we need to put a lot of energy towards accountability for these politicians and what that can look like. And I would be really interested in seeing a politician at any scale run with the platform that includes what their accountability model is for their performance.
That'd be dope. Yeah, I really
that would
like
be
that
dope.
Idea.
Like if it's like, yo, I'm making a pledge to be accountable to y'all in this way.
This is my infrastructure that I'm running on. Yeah.
And if it's not, and if I don't hold to it, I will resign. Like,
come get me. Yeah.
Yeah, come get me up out of here.
Yeah.
And actually yield to that in the event that that's what takes place. I think that would be really amazing to see, and I would help people actually rebuild trust in politicians in general. However, another thing I want to say is, I think it's really, really important in regards to our work to show so many people how you can be engaged in this process inside and outside of the electoral cycle. And that's a part of what we do as an organization. And like building political power could take many, many forms.
Yeah. It has to.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah. And no matter what the situation is, that's what we got to do. So that's what our commitment is as well.
And even just speaking of the electoral work, and thinking about what our 2026 will look like for our organization, but also in the country. So one thing we know is we developed a political agenda in 2020. We were we're going to develop a political agenda because we want to be able to say, this is what we want to hold ourselves and the government who takes our money, who has our tax dollars, accountable to. And so that same way, we understand that I think we passed that political agenda in the Black National Assembly and then one of Youth Assembly in 2023, in 2022 and 2023. And we're going to be revising and looking at that together in 2026 because we know 2026 is a big year, a big election year. And on the one hand, there's May 5th is our county primary because we got school board elections. And then August 6th, we'll be voting on the school board and we'll have state and federal primary elections. Then November 3rd, which is what? It's my birthday. But
I thought you was about to say what election is it?
No, it is. November 3rd is also an election, but it's also my birthday.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so this also November 3rd is the actual state and federal general election, and we'll be voting on the governor's race next year, U.S. Senate seat, U.S. Congress, state Senate for some folks, state reps, public defender, sheriff, juvenile court clerk, some judicial seats, and school board. It's a lot to vote on.
Yeah.
So I do need folks to start.
Gotta lock in.
Because we got a lot to do, and at the same time, I think what's exciting for us is that and you were talking about this earlier, we built this political agenda. It's deeply aspirational, right? But it comes from our hearts and from like our vision of what the world can be.
And from a lot of conversations in the assembly structure.
Assembly, surveys, doors,
yeah,
all
over 10,000 black folks engaged
yeah.
in the process. So it's largely what people have asked for.
And what I think is dope, the varsity spending plan, those demands are a product of those political agendas, the agenda of the young people, the Yes to Youth campaign, and the Black National Assembly. And so like we revisit that ongoing as we both engage in like, you know, what does it mean to engage in the electoral process, but also what does it mean to, it also informs our organizing work. So both, like when we talk about dual power, it's like both work accountable to it internally and externally as well.
And the policies that come out of that these elected officials enact and put in place affect people's material conditions on the street. So it's like we got to deal with the fallout of whichever way this thing goes. No matter what, at any given moment, you know, policies can shift people's whole lives. We seen it happen in November.
We see it now,
You know what I'm saying? And we see it now. So it's not an either or thing. It's a both and.
Yeah, thing. For sure. So yeah, that's my news and kind of like my forecast of what I see going on in Nashville and across the country.
I'm gonna jump back a little bit because there's one thing that we didn't talk about in October that I think is really cool and interesting. The country of Mali has taken out the French Revolution from being taught in ninth grade history in their country, and they want to put a focus on their history. The interesting thing about the French Revolution was the French Revolution ended in 1799. They were having a revolution because there was a monarchy and feudalism, which my understanding of feudalism is that it's the social structure that is enacted by like the king, the monarchy, to disperse land and property. So King Louis the 16th, I think it was at that time, was like, yo, you are now the Lord of Worcestershire or whatever. And now all of this land and this castle and all of this stuff belongs to you. And then you just kind of puts his buddies and his family members in place to basically lord over this land.
Okay.
The people who pay rent on that land were called peasants. This is feudalism. Peasants pay rent to a lord of land in which a king ultimately owns and benefits from. So they decided to have a revolution because they didn't like that system. Unfortunately, what we see at the heart of that revolution was not so much that we want to completely destroy the system. This is also the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte. So they have a lot of bloodshed, tons of blood. Like they are using the guillotine back then. They're cutting people's heads off by the thousands.
In 17 what? What year you say?
This 1799 is when it ends. Okay. So it goes on for, I think, somewhere around 15 years, something like that. Okay. And there was like, it also shows that the thing about revolution is like, it's not just a moment. It's not just like this one big clash. And then it's actually like a series of battles, a series of struggles, a series of power changing hands, a series of leaders coming and going until it actually kind of settles. And then also what happened during the period of revolution was that other European countries began to attack because they're like, in times of instability, we're going to try to swoop in. So they had to try to protect against that. Meanwhile, there's the head of their public safety is actually the one slaughtering people in the street. That's like, yo, if you roll with this king that we finna kill and his wife, they cut off both their heads. His wife was like a few months after the king. Marie Antoinette cut her head off. He was like, look, anybody that's rolling on the side of the king, we're cutting your head off. And it got a little egregious. So the people said, we actually got to kill the public safety guy because he's killing too many people.
You outing.
This is the course of revolution over a decade plus. And what eventually happens about 30 years after the end of the French Revolution, the French start colonizing the Africans. So it shows that their positionality was not so much like the monarchy is wrong, feudalism is wrong. They want to be on the throne. This was a revolution to put somebody new on the throne. Given some of their political infrastructure did change, right? They had a version of what they refer to as an assembly structure and all of these other things. But they were just sitting on the throne and said, you know what? let's go get the Africans.
Like different parts of Africa, because Africa's been colonized
Right.
by so many different European
But
countries
the first wave, I'm forgetting the country that it was, but the first wave of the French going to Africa to colonize was about 30 years after the end of the French Revolution. So they immediately began to, replicate harm, control property, and make people peasants.
Right.
Like
immediately, yeah.
They immediately went and basically replicated a new wave of what that looks like. And I think it's really important for us to have very clear groundings and very clear political goals, beliefs, and ideologies and values, so that we don't go and create the same system that's been harming us the whole time. Because some people are saying freeze the rent because they feel like it is unfair for you to charge me this much to live in this place.
Yeah.
Some people is saying freeze the rent because if they were in the same situation, I'll say this, if they were in the same situation, they wouldn't be saying freeze the rent.
Yeah.
They would be like, I'm the landlord, I'm not freezing nothing.
Yeah, it's not a value.
Yeah, it's not about
thing. That's why it's
not about changing the system, it's about changing
and,
the seat.
Yes, people's politics, values, and morals matter a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, when we're critiquing people, it's because we got to get clear on values in politics. Because when you get in those positions and you make harmful decisions, we have to live with them. And I do think that how people respond to genocide in Gaza does matter, because if you are okay with that evil and harm in Gaza, in Sudan, and Haiti, then you are okay with it happening here too, because that is a moral decision that you are making.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that we got to be really clear about. And so I appreciate you lifting that up, and how we think about how we belong to each other, how we be together, also informs how we what our collective decisions are when it comes to policies and programs with our people.
And it's the Fred Hampton thing. It's like, we're not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism.
No, can't.
We'll fight capitalism with socialism. We don't want to just change the seat of who holds power.
No, that's
we want to change the way power is held.
Stuff. And that, I think we talked about this, but that is the desire of Richard Nixon, who was like, oh yeah, black power is black businesses. We just fell into it.
Yeah.
We don't know. We have to deny ourselves.
Because the black business is just the landlord for them, because all they're gonna do is give the black business a big loan in which the bank owns.
And I get the black business thing of we don't want to have to be under Amazon and things like that. But also, what I mean when I say black business, black capitalism, we shouldn't want to be billionaires. That's not the thing. How do we create true ability for everybody to have access to all the things? And that can't exist if people's billionaires. That's just not possible.
And it can't,
or this aspiration to be billionaires. And
it's telling, because there's black businesses that actually have really beautiful structures and really shout out to Coffee Black in Memphis, who have an all black supply chain leading all the way back to the continent, and they're getting coffee beans from Ethiopia and bringing them to Memphis.
And doing it in a place of because it means something. It's I'm not exploiting people's labor and people's goods. That is different. It's we can't fall into that. We can't be we want to be black capitalists, because that's not. And maybe if they are individuals, I'm just worried about me and my family. Then I can see how you end up over there. But if you're nah, I'm worried about the collective good, then I want to invite you into something else.
Yeah, and trying to it's this whole idea trying to get something for the cheapest price and then sell it for the highest amount. Yeah, it's well, your intentions that's not what we're talking about.
No, and so that's what I mean by falling into the trap of Richard Nixon. I'm not trying to down, because I get people wanting to start their black business and being I want to have autonomy. And now I'm how do we be and do that in a way that is cooperatively?
But you see it in people's heart in the way they treat people. It's you go into certain establishments and they treating people terrible. It's okay, I see where your heart is at. You know what I'm saying?
Richard Nixon.
Is that true?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
No.
For sure. You know what else has been going on?
What has been? Is it on Netflix too? Because we've been on Netflix.
It is on Netflix. And some would say it's news. Okay. The Diddy doc. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I had to cancel my Netflix.
I'm just asking.
No, I'm just playing.
For the conversation. It'll be on HBO. Don't worry. But I saw it. Whoa.
How long is it?
It's 4 episodes. I think it's a docuseries. It's 4 of them. I think it's like an hour and a half each.
Oh, dang.
Something like
That's
that.
a long commitment.
It might be an hour.
Yeah.
Either way, it's 4 hours at least. But it was different. I was like, this is a different kind of sick.
Really?
Like, this is a different kind of sick. We heard a lot of the stories, but like, there's this thing that's like, at every turn, Diddy says, I'm gonna choose the most evil thought that I can. It's just like, at least that's the framing of this series. And that made me start thinking about 50 Cent. I've been listening to 50 Cent's music.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
how much music does he have? Because I really don't know that much of his music. I just know.
I was having this debate, and
what's
this
it
is
called?
probably for a different conversation.
Yeah.
You just know what? The Bulletproof Vest?
No, what's it called? Birthday. The birthday one. It's
In
your
the club?
birthday. Go girl. No.
Go
The
Shawty.
birthday.
It's called In the Club.
In the club.
Okay.
The one about. Hold on, no. Let me say the other one. What's the one of him? He got shot, but he was able to. Many Men. I know that one. Okay.
Okay.
Is there
cool.
one more that I know?
There's a
If I
bunch.
was your best friend.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of.
He got a lot. How many albums he got?
The album went, I think, 13 times.
But how many
platinum.
albums do he got?
I don't know how many albums he has.
Because I just don't know how long his music career was. It don't seem like it was that long.
Right now would be a time to crank it up. If I'm 50 Cent, I'm dropping a tape. The tape is on the way. He also had a really long mixtape run before he was.
That might have been what y'all y'all know I'm familiar with that. Because I know him from Power and Mini Men. That's it.
That's fair. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is,
I'm sorry.
50 Cent is not somebody you want to beef with. 50 been beefing with Diddy for a long time.
Yeah.
And he sat back quietly for years and years and years and waited on his downfall and sold it to Netflix at a premium.
It's crazy.
This man has secret recordings from this year. Like, he's got footage. He's got audio of like somebody taking an Alfred plea in the Tupac and Biggie murder case. He's got crazy stuff in there that's like, oh, but then he also has all of these people that's like piecing the story together in such a way that's like, I was there when Biggie was supposed to leave before he got killed.
Dang.
Puffy told me to cancel the flight. And then Biggie gets shot and killed. And then he threw the biggest funeral ever in the history of New York for Biggie and then charged Biggie for it. Took the money from Biggie to pay for the funeral. Very crazy work. Then he was in all white at the VMAs dancing to the new song he made about Biggie and on the cover of Rolling Stone. Nasty, nasty, nasty work. He's a monster. If this stuff is true. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you did see him dancing on the V.
Yeah, we did see these things. I don't know, if Biggie's estate paid for what, but look, it's dark. But the thing that they also do in the very first episode, and this is what I want to talk to you about, is they talk about his childhood. They talk about how his family, they make a lot of insinuations, but they talk about how his mom was a part of the quote-unquote nightlife, how they threw a lot of parties and the children used to be forced to dance at these parties at nighttime with these adults. And, like, they don't have any, like, very concrete statements of what is happening at the time, but there are a lot of insinuations that Diddy grew up in a harmful nightlife, entertainment kind of environment, and people in the neighborhood knew what was going on. Like, they knew that's how that family was getting down. I think his father had passed away, and his mom was like throwing all of these elaborate parties and all of this kind of stuff. So they frame it up with the context of like, he grew up like this, and then the power and the money and the excess of it turned it into this huge beast that started in his childhood. So how do we see that for what it is and say, we got to address the root causes of these issues? Because if this stuff is being informed. He didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a monster now. Yeah. It was like, nah, there's things that happened long before he had that power and he had that wealth.
Him how to be a monster.
Exactly. Or reframed his mindset around violence to where he has an extremely high tolerance and maybe even appreciation for violence or respect for violence. It frames the way that your brain chemistry works. Yeah. We know how like adverse childhood experiences alters the brain. So I'm like, your brain has been altered in a way. Now, that doesn't mean he don't need to be accountable for his behavior. Yeah. But at the same time, it lets us know what we need to target to actually solve this, because it's been ongoing for a long time.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's so sad. The whole thing is just extremely sad. Like this little boy who experienced this likely significant amount of harm, and then like went on to like get lots of power and money and resources and other people to collaborate with him to do harm, because like he don't exist without other people supporting him and doing that harm too.
But he also doesn't exist without the ability to identify the right targets.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the people that were, you know, at some points complicit were probably they were some of them were formerly incarcerated, couldn't get a job nowhere else. Some of them were extremely poor, they was on hard times, they couldn't, you know, and you isolate that person and you make them dependent on me. So it's like, I'm not gonna pay you, but you can come with me here and your room's gonna be covered, your food's gonna be covered. You didn't get no money, but you basically live around my ecosystem.
Orbit.
You know, so people don't want to get off the orbit because
they gonna lose
he didn't pay him.
Dang.
So it's like, I don't have nothing to
got
fall.
no resume.
I ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know?
Whoa.
So it makes you more likely to be complicit.
Yeah. And that's how abuse like works.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
Yo, that is so sad. Yeah.
And you was making a good point earlier about just like the industry of like sexual violence.
Yeah. Like I was just thinking about like Law and Order has been around for 25 years. That's 25 years
of Olivia Benson
episodes about like every week.
Yeah.
For 25 years about sexual violence. And I think the other thing that's important is that like, and the answer to like, there's not even a conversation that I haven't seen any episodes about, listen, I'm going somewhere about some type of like, how do we get to the root causes of sexual violence? How do we actually address it? It's all
yes.
Lock them up, throw them in jail. Olivia Benson is she's the, you know, the most caring person. She's this police officer. Also, that's not how police are. That's not how.
Never seen.
There's not an Olivia Benson. That's not how it works. But just that, and I'm like, but this thing with like, I can't believe for 25 years there's a show every week about sexual violence. Even the 48 hours, it's like so much. There's an industry around how violent people are to each other. That is on every channel. Going back to, there's shows on Netflix that is about violence, particularly towards like, you know, women and young people, and there's a show on Paramount, there's a show on HBO, there's a show on Hulu, there's a show on Channel 5, a show everywhere. And I'm like, nobody's actually like, hey, like, and our work as abolitionists is to be like, what is our narrative work? Where is our community work? Where is our propaganda work? To be like, we actually want to get to the root cause of this and build out communities where we are not harmful towards each other in this way, as opposed to like making money and making a whole industry around that.
Yeah. And that's how you know, it's like, if they wanted to address the root causes of sexual violence, then it wouldn't be 25 seasons.
Ice-T not on there talking about, oh no, we gonna get to the root cause of this. You know, Ice-T's not doing that.
And then that's people's framework of justice too.
That's the thing, yes.
Like, they framework of
justice. It's conditioning us to believe that, like, one, it's not preventable, and two, if something happens, the police, the judicial system is gonna do something about it. When actually, most times it goes underreported, right? And then the other thing is like, most times there's no real type of like, there's no conviction. And if there is, you just send the person away to prison, but that doesn't stop it from happening in other neighborhoods.
Yeah. And I would argue that, you know, the systems that, let's say, how do I say this? If the person who is using justice, meaning we gonna find the bad guy and lock him up, throw him away in jail, I understand that we don't have another structure right now.
But that don't even work. But yeah,
that doesn't solve it. But what I'm saying is,
if
that person is not equally as invested in being like, how do we prevent it? Olivia Benson should be tired of locking people up.
Nah, she should be like, dang, we gotta do something else.
Exactly.
25 seasons
years of this. Yeah.
And how many episodes is it? 25 times 25 is, I don't know, a lot.
You seen them? How many?
I don't know. It's 25 seasons and 25 episodes per season, just about.
Yeah.
You know,
but I'm like, at what point is Olivia going to care enough about these women and all of these different people who are getting harmed to say, I've been locking these people up for a whole generation,
and it hasn't
and
stopped.
they're still
And
coming
it's
off a line like it's
we
mass
gotta be
produced.
honest. It's women, men, genderqueer folks, young people that are harmed in this way. And so yeah, it's like, dang, I do think that's a good. I'm like, what to do this to be in that industry for so long, and I'm just thinking about even like people who are police officers.
I would lose my mind.
I'm like, and not think like, what
this
else can
working.
we do?
Yeah,
what
that's like having a doctor doing the same operation
and not
for
being
25
like,
years
what
in a
can
row.
we do?
It's like every time we do this operation, his heart stops.
Yeah,
maybe stop doing that operation.
Yeah, let's
and do
figure
something
something.
Yeah,
I'm really curious about that, and I think that's why, of course, we create a political agenda. We like, what can we do to prevent this? Because that is the work. That is our work too, though.
Yeah, and true justice is preventing the harm from occurring in the first place.
To not happen.
Not just punishing somebody when harm happens.
Yeah,
like you can't divorce that from justice because it's not just.
Yeah, and even
not,
for sure.
It's solutions that don't solve.
They don't. Explanations that don't explain.
Look,
Frey Hampton told us.
So but that's the documentary. A lot of people are talking about it, and hopefully we can also talk about, maybe inside the men's circle or with other structures and communities, like people can talk about the harm that happens to young boys and how that frames the way they view the world later in life. Yeah. Because I think if that goes unaddressed and we don't intervene somewhere, then that's going to become cyclical. Yeah. We got to care.
Yeah, we send love to all our people, for real. For real.
Yeah.
That's the work we do together.
That is the work.
Yeah, to both heal, transform, so we can create a better world for our people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Get the Goods podcast. You got anything you want to add?
Yeah, let's talk about what is something that, I don't think go ahead.
I was going to say New Year's resolution. You got one yet?
Yeah, one, I said I was going to read more and cut all these saving money.
There we go.
Okay, I probably also
stopping Uber Eats?
That's what I was going to say. I got to give up Uber Eats. But I got to give up Uber Eats. But what I have been doing, I haven't shopped at Starbucks since 2023 because they asked us not to. And when I see people at Starbucks cups, I be like,
what are we doing?
Huh?
What are we doing?
And Target.
I don't get that.
I don't get it. I really, really don't. I'm like, my prescription was in Target and CVS, and I was like, I have to move this because people can't see me coming out of Target, even if I'm just getting my prescription. Yeah. I can't do it. That's a moral decision.
Come on.
It's a moral decision. It's like I see my life connected to people in Gaza.
Yeah.
They said, can we not shop at Starbucks?
It's really not asking that much.
It's not. They said, hey, we gonna not shop at Target just on some solidarity stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll go to Kroger. I don't know. And I get certain, conditions. It might be Target the only thing you got in your small town. Heard. But Starbucks, we ain't got to do that. We ain't got to do Starbucks. McDonald's got coffee.
People are also addicted, though.
Starbucks coffee ain't even good.
That's why I'm saying they're addicted. Like
nasty coffee?
I don't know. They might be putting something in it. Because people be like, I got to have Starbucks.
Do you?
I don't know. It's kind of tweaked out. We need to look at the formula.
Nah, for real. Look at that. And then they workers was like, hey, y'all, they not treating us
Please
well. And people
we work here. Do not come here.
We don't care. They said, nah, we don't care. Worker fix it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's my New Year's resolution. More reading. I need to read all the books that I got. I love you books. And what else? That's mostly what I'm going to do. What about you?
At first, my New Year's resolution was to start a garden, but I beat it to the punch.
Mm-hmm.
My new resolution, somatic therapy.
Ooh.
I have tried the talk therapy thing multiple times. Mm-hmm. It's just annoying and a waste of time, and I'm throwing money in the trash. Like, I don't I got to try something different. And I saw this thing online. I don't know how true it is. It was just a post. But it was like, yo, if you are an intellectual person and you are the type of person that's like, you can tell somebody exactly how you feel, why you feel it, where it came from, the origins of it. You show a large level of self-awareness. A lot of times for you,
that's real.
The talk therapy is not going to get it because your therapist is going to be like, yeah, you understand what's going on with you. I don't know why I'm here.
I know. That's how I be feeling. I be like, I have to let go of my therapist this year too. So I think I'm going to find me a somatic therapist.
They said it's like, there's a lot of times for people like us, maybe, the issue is connecting your feeling
to your body
instead of connecting your feeling to your mind.
Yeah.
So I'm able to tell you, yeah, this is how I feel about it, but I don't have no feeling about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I understand that you're a crook. So I'm not going to get bent out of shape when you take my wallet or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm hurt. I just ain't tapped into the hurt, though, because you took my wallet. That hurt my feelings.
Right. And I'm like, I'm not going to be hurt because a dog is chasing a dog. Yeah. Like, that's what dogs do. I'm just like more so, you know, but I don't want to keep running past this pit bull.
Yeah.
Now, every time I see a fence, I feel a little uneasy.
Yeah.
That's the part that you got to kind of like work through. Even if I know, like, yeah, it was a pit bull that I used to run from. So now every time I see one, I kind of. But yeah, they say somatic therapy is like a tool that may work. So
I'm gonna try.
That's my commitment.
I like it. Okay, we can be on that journey together.
We don't have to.
No, we're two best friends, two good friends, and because of you, I've been changed for good.
You want to tell us something about Wicked? Just one take.
No.
One
I
takeaway.
said one thing.
I know.
I've been changed for good because I knew you.
Bet.
Yeah. It's a Good the Goods podcast. See y'all next week too.
Episode 46, last episode of the year next week.
Coming up. Ooh.
So
tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Send us what it is. We're gonna get this hotline going too.
Yeah. Send us topics.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
All right, Get the Goods, episode 46. We work together.
We win together.
Win together.
We change the world.
There it is. Peace, y'all.
Good job.